In this video, I'm just going to show you how to create static directory, how to link pages, so being able to go from like your main page to your contacts page, and how to extend pages. Because like here in your index page, you see, just your standard HTML and head section, and then in your contacts page, you see the same thing. Well, we're kind of duplicating code here, so we're going to figure out how we can use how we can extend pages and basically not duplicate code. Okay, so let's then start with creating a static folder. And the static folder just exists at the same level as your templates folder. Just call it static. And you can stick a file in there. I'm going to just put a little Mickey Mouse image in there. And you can see it right here, Mickey, or Mick, short for Mickey. And let's just embed it in the index page. So here, and there it is. So, in your static folder, and you actually have subfolders in your static folder, of course. You might want to put your CSS there, your Bootstrap if you're using Bootstrap, Foundation if you're using Foundation, and that is if you don't want to point to a CDN, and you want to keep your framework, your Bootstrap framework locally. You'd put it in the static folder. What else might go in there? Yeah, your CSS. So anything like that. So let's create our nav next. So just make a little nav here. And we want to link this to the contact page. And this is where we can use our first sort of Jinja 2 functionality to actually have us create the URL for us. And what we use is a double squiggly like this. And then we use this sort of Jinja 2 method called URL4. And what we pass as a parameter here is the function, not the route, but the function that creates the contact page. And so if we go here to app.py, we can see that that is called contact page. It's easy to actually put in the route instead. You know, you can forget this and just you'll learn it when you do it. Because it won't forgive you for doing it wrong. So here we put in contact page, and if we watch this render, you can see that it's actually now creating a route to the contact page. Of course, you can't really click on this because it's just text, as it were, but we can wrap it in a href like so, and then now you go to the contacts page. So you get how this works. I'm going to build the rest of this nav here, which is really just one more page. And here I put in a second link. Home, of course, again, is the function in app.py home, right? And it renders, as you can see, it renders not much, but now we have our nav. Let's stick this, of course, in our contacts page as well. So now we have a nav. So the next thing we want to do is just extend these pages, because what we've done here is we've duplicated a lot of code in our contacts page and our index page. We don't really want to have the nav in both places. You can imagine a site with, I don't know, 15 pages, and every time you add a new page, you'd have to go into 15 different pages to update the nav. You don't want to do it that way. You want to have the nav in one location and just sort of extend it out to all of your other pages. So how do you do that? Well, the first thing you do is you create, say, like a layout page. You can call it whatever you want, which you are then going to extend into these two other pages. So let's call it layout.html. And just by way of illustration, let's put some code in here. And then inside here, inside this layout page, you can use another Jinja 2 tag with an attribute called block, and you can call it whatever you want. Maybe your nav bar. This is not a reserved word. You can make your blocks anything you want, and then you end your block. And then let's hook this up to the index page. For right now, I'm just going to comment this out. And actually, let's back up here just slightly. I'm going to go back to layout. And these should not be double squigglies. These should be squiggly percentage sign. Going back to index. Let's extend the layout. And now if we refresh the page, you can see that what is outputting on the index page is this is my content in layout. Now you might expect if you type something here, that it would render, but it doesn't. The only thing that's going to render on the index page is if you, now that you've extended layout, is these whatever blocks you've added here. You then add them to your index page like this. And now you get it. Well, so this is my content in layout, and this is my content in index. All right. And this works too if you say, don't call this nav bar, just call it body content maybe. It still works. So now you can use this this technique, of course, to keep everything that duplicates in the layout and everything that's sort of specific to each of the pages, the content that's specific to the pages, just in index and contacts. So let's do that. Of course, you don't need any of this stuff except for this in the contacts page. Similarly here. So let's grab this. All is going to go in layout. And the only thing that's specific is to the index and is the stuff in between the body tags. So let's put the block here. And take this out. And you can see how I'm starting to put most of my content in the layout page. Uh, and this is looking pretty good. We can actually put the nav also in layout. It doesn't need to be an index. So let's take that out. And let's do the same thing in contacts. And you can see how everything is much more streamlined. The index page and the contacts page just have the content that exists between the body tags, and everything else is stored, including the nav is put in the layout. So you want to use this technique to finish the assignment. Of course, you're also going to want to include some references to whatever framework you want to use, like Bootstrap. You're going to want to put all of that probably in your layout.html or whatever you call the base HTML that you're going to extend into your other pages. So good luck.